for today's broadcast, I wanted to bring you guys some news in regards to Iran as well as China and India. But I first want to start with an update in regards to the United States and North Korea. There have been a lot of threats flying back and forth between these two nations. In fact, North Korea has stated that a strike on the United States is inevitable. Listen to this.
North Korea says Donald Trump's Rocket Man jibe means missile attacks on the U.S. mainland inevitable. The foreign minister of North Korea told the United Nations that Mr. Trump had committed an irreversible mistake during his speech to the body in New York last week. His comments came after it emerged that the U.S. had sent bombers to the North Korean border today, and the closest they have been to the country. The foreign minister stated that if U.S. lives were lost, Mr. Trump would be held totally responsible. He also stated that the ultimate goal of North Korea was to establish a balance of power with the United States. And he retorted that Trump himself was on a suicide mission after the United States said Kim was on such a mission. He also went on to warn that North Korea was ready to defend itself if the U.S. showed any sign of conducting a decapitating operation on their headquarters or military attack against their country. He said the country's nuclear force was a war deterrent to end U.S. nuclear threat and prevent a U.S. invasion. Through such a prolonged struggle, now we are finally only a few steps away from the final gate of completion of the state nuclear force. He said it's only a forlorn hope to consider any chance that the DPRK would be shaken an inch or change its stance due to the harsher sanctions by the hostile forces. He also said that North Korea did not have any intention to use or threaten its nuclear weapons against countries that did not join in the U.S. military action. He added that Mr. Trump's speech at the UN was reckless and violent, and he was trying to turn the body into a gangster's nest where money is respected and bloodshed is the order of the day. It goes on further to state that U.S. Air Force B-1B Lancer bombers escorted by fighter jets flew in international airspace over waters east of North Korea on Saturday in a show of force, which the Pentagon said demonstrated the range of military options available to the U.S. president. The patrols came after officials and experts said a small earthquake near North Korea's nuclear test site on Saturday was probably not man-made, easing fears North Korea had exploded another nuclear bomb just weeks after its last one.
That's not all. Just yesterday, a senior White House official has warned that North Korea's H-bomb over the Pacific would be a game changer. Here's that report.
North Korea has threatened to conduct a hydrogen bomb test over the Pacific, sparking fears World War III could break out as Kim Jong-un builds up his nuclear arsenal. The Trump staffer said although the administration recognizes a certain amount of bluster coming from North Korea, the U.S. was taking the threat seriously. Speaking anonymously, the senior official told Reuters it would be a game changer in some sense, but I don't think we should give too much credence to it at the moment. There's a certain amount of bluster that's taken for granted when you're dealing with North Korea. We have to, at some extent, take it seriously. The slanging match between Donald Trump and North Korea went up another notch after the U.S. president promised to totally destroy North Korea if it tried to attack the states. His fiery address to the UN General Assembly drew an unprecedented response from the despotic Kim, who delivered a personal address to President Trump. He warned, "I will surely and definitely tame the mentally deranged U.S. dotard with fire." Hours later, North Korea's foreign minister was asked by reporters in New York to elaborate on the threat, and he said this could probably mean the strongest hydrogen bomb test over the Pacific Ocean. Regarding which measures to take, I don't really know, since it is what Kim does.
There are definitely some major threats and actions flying around, you guys, but is Kim the only one shooting missiles up into the air, or I should say threatening again to shoot missiles into the air? Apparently, Iran has also tested their own ballistic missile. Listen to this.
Iran state media showed video Friday, and I will leave that in the link for you guys to check out, of the successful test launch of a new ballistic missile capable of reaching portions of the Middle East including Israel. Just hours earlier, the missile was unveiled at a large military parade presided over by the Iranian president, who vowed to continue Tehran's missile program in defiance of demands from Washington to halt it. The state broadcaster showed footage of the missile test. The report did not give the time or location of the test. The video included footage of an onboard camera showing the detachment of the cone that could carry multiple warheads. The Iranian president stated that he would strengthen its missile capabilities without asking for any country's permission. So we have threats coming out from North Korea. We have the United States stating that we will defend our land and our allies. And then we have Iran shooting their ballistic missiles up into the air. But what has India and China been up to? Well, apparently India has stepped up its arms race with China by approving bomb shelters along the border. India is boistering its defense amid fears of war with China as its government announced approval for plans to build hardened shelter for aircraft along the border of its rival. The proposal, originally pitched in 2015, is strongly backed by the Prime Minister's office after recent border tensions with China. The Indian Defense Ministry will spend an estimated $750 billion on next-generation shelters on eastern and northeastern airfields that border China. The hangars are designed to withstand missiles and bombs up to 2,000 pounds. Last year, a parliamentary panel on defense raised concerns about the lack of hardened shelters for frontline aircraft. The committee said the IAF is already short of planes, and worse than that is hardened shelters are not available for even the limited number of aircraft that is available with the service. The committee desires that there should not be any delay in execution, as such delays have become a common feature for all the projects. It goes on further to state that tensions between India and China were high this summer over their shared border. From June to August, armed forces from both countries were locked in a standoff along the border. And finally, it states both countries are nuclear armed, and if tensions escalate, it could have a devastating consequence.
There you have it, you guys. Wars and rumors of wars and distress of nations. Tensions are high all over the world, especially with the United States and North Korea. And I will definitely continue to keep you guys updated as these reports continue to be developed. But I want to hear from you guys. Leave your comments in the comment section. Tell me what's on your mind. Tell me what you think about what's going on with these nations. I'd love to hear from you. Also, please do come and visit me on Facebook, where I have these stories and many more. Also on our website at www.cww7news.org. All right, you guys, I will see you in my next